the web API calls. Okay, so let's have a requirement. So I have an entity, for example, a case entity. Okay, to this case entity, I want to have a business unit. I want to create a lookup field with entity target entity as a business unit. And then whenever a form loads, when I click new, so the business unit of the login user should populate here. Okay, clear? So the requirement is clear. So what I'm going to do, I will create a lookup field in a case entity. That lookup field target is business unit. That lookup will display business units data. But I don't want users to be manually select the business unit. I want the business unit to be auto populate based on the login user. Now this login user belongs to one particular business unit. So whenever user click new on form load, our web API call will retrieve the data from login user. It will fetch the data of the business unit of that login user and it will set the value. Okay. So first I'm going to create a new field where in case entity, let's add a case entity, entities, or we'll do in a contact itself. We'll do in contact itself. So far we have created all these functions in the contact. Let's do it in a contact. I will create a business unit field in a contact entity. Let me refresh. Contact fields, create new field. The new field name is business unit. I will make this field as a required. The data type will be a lookup and the target will be a business unit. This is the business unit entity. Now it's created. Let's go to form. This is the form. I will add this field in the form. Business unit. Let's save. Publish. So far all these solutions that we have implemented that will execute in a same entity. For example, we have created functions that will validate the data in the entity, in an entity, and actions will apply in same entity. Okay. So what we have done, we are checking some condition. If account name is not equals to null, then we are giving an alert. Another function, we are hiding a tab based on the contact method, making field mandatory, and we are hiding tab based on the form type. We are hiding section based on the field, and we are setting an email based on the full first name and last name. So all this validation we are performing in a same entity. Conditions in same entity, actions that we apply in a same entity, that is contact, right? So now what we need to do, we need to retrieve the data. We need to retrieve the data from different entity. What is the different entity?
Business unit.
Business unit field. Okay. So when I click new, let's see why it is giving error. Web resource method does not exist. Hide tabs for new form. Okay. Hide tabs for new form. Hide tabs for new form. Okay. So let's resolve the issue first. I will open the web resource tool from XRM toolbox. I load the web resources from the solution, and this is my solution. Open this. Hide tabs for new form type. Okay. So the function is there. Let's try to debug. F12, Control P, contact. Okay. So let's try to download the error first. Show details, download log file, download. Hide tabs for new form. Don't have this. We have this. Okay. Web resource method does not exist. Function name, unload. Let's check. Let me open the form. Go to form properties. Unload. Hide tabs for new form. It is also there. I'll save and publish again. Control F5. Contact for interactive experience. We have created business unit field. Let's add the business unit field here. form properties, hide related section, hide tabs for new. We have passed the execution context for both. And why still is giving error? Save and publish. On load, we are facing error. Function. Function. Let me publish the new latest code. We'll see. Meanwhile we will check another one. So in customer service hub application, we are accessing contact form. Let's check this. I'll open the customer service hub app, customer service, go to app designer. So we are working on contact forms. What are the forms that are available for this customer service hub for the contact activity? Let's check. So we have one main form, contact for interactive experience. This is only the form that is enabled. Okay. So we are updating the script in contact for interactive experience. Okay. We have published the web resource. Let's refresh it again. Still, still we are getting error. Let's. It's not published. Let me try to publish. Anybody else facing this issue?
Sir, I think if it is a mandatory field, then we have to give on change.
No, we are not changing anything because we have done the proper null checks here. Hide related section, form context, execution context dot get form context, account form context dot get value. We are getting the value. We are checking null condition. Then we are hiding. This also same, get form type we are checking, then we are hiding and showing this. So all the brackets are closing properly for this section. This is for this section closing here. For this function it is closing here. For this function it is closing here. For this function it's closing here. Yeah. So everything we have properly published. I think it is a publish issue. After publishing this latest code, it is working, right? When I click new, there will be no error. Something was published wrongly. When I published the latest code, then it is working. Okay, now let us come back to our requirement. So what we need to do when a user login, when user click on new, we need to get the login user ID, and then we need to fetch the login user business unit, and we need to set that value in the business unit field. Okay, so first thing what we need to do, we have to create a function. Let me collapse all this. I will create a new function name set business unit. Execution context is same, form context is same. Then we need to get the owner ID. How to get the owner ID? So where owner ID is equals to form context dot
Context dot get
get attribute.
attribute.
Okay, get attribute get attribute of owner ID dot get value.
Value.
How I am writing owner ID? So the owner ID schema name is this. Owner ID. Okay. And then here we will get the owner ID of the user. Then what we need to do? Owner ID is a lookup, right? It's a lookup. How to validate the lookup? Here we check. First, we will be using get value. If the value is not equal to null, then we have to get the ID of the login user. So what I'll do, if owner ID is not equals to null, means the lookup contains data, then where here I will give owner. I will create owner ID. Owner ID is equals to how we are fetching the value stored here, array of 0 dot ID. So let me show you one more thing. So here we have, okay, show alert. And where are we showing alert? On selection. Okay, so I'll just debug it. Change of account name. Okay, now if you see what we will get in that ID. So what is ID that we are getting? We are getting the ID. How we are getting? In brackets. ID we will get it like this, in this format. But we have to pass the ID to fetch the details in this format. So what I'll do, I will replace the braces, the flower brackets. How to replace the flower brackets? For this ID, I will use the replace function. What I need to replace? I need to replace flower bracket with again another replace. Why I am using another replace? There should be a closing bracket as well. So here what I am doing, owner ID I will be getting in flower bracket. I have to remove the flower bracket. For that I am replacing, what I am replacing, open flower bracket with a space, closing flower bracket with a space. Then in this code, in this line, what I will get, I will get the owner ID without the flower bracket. Now we got the owner ID. Now how to pass this owner ID to fetch the details? So that's where our REST API builder will help us. So click on the REST API builder. So we have here in REST API builder, we have to just configure our action. Okay, what we need to do, we will just configure. When we click on create request here, the this tool will give you the automated code. You simply need to take that code, you have to paste it, and you have to change according to the needs. So now tell me, here we have two ways to retrieve retrieve multiple. So what we are going to use now, retrieve will retrieve the single record, retrieve multiple will retrieve the multiple records. So in our condition, do we need to use retrieve or retrieve multiple? Can anybody guess? The requirement is when the user login, I need to pass this owner ID, and then I need to get the business unit of this user. I need to get only one record, right? I need to get this user record. In this user record, I will fetch the business unit field. I will get that business unit. I will set it in the contact. So here we are using retrieve. So where our users will be stored in the CRM, in which entity? Which entity? User entity. Okay.
Users.
So we need to retrieve the user record. How we will retrieve? I will retrieve the user record by passing this ID. So it will retrieve this user record. Still.
Sir, if the user is present in two business units, then we have to select retrieve multiple.
Ideally, user will not be part of two business units. Why? If I go to security users, If I open this user belongs to the business unit. This business unit is a lookup. In lookup, we cannot select multiple record. One user will always be in one business unit. Okay.
Okay.
But this user can part of other business unit. How? We can add these users to the team. We can assign the team to different business unit. But
Yes.
the user configuration, the user business unit is this. Now, I will give another requirement. We have account entity. We have one account can be linked to multiple contacts. So whenever account address is updated, I want to update all the contact addresses with the same address where account have. Now tell me which method I need to use. I need to use retrieve or retrieve multiple.
Retrieve multiple.
Retrieve multiple because we are fetching all the related contacts. Now here we are fetching only the user. Who is that user? Owner ID. In user entity, I have a business unit field. I will get this field value. I will set it in a contact entity. This tool is taking more time to load. Okay. Meantime, it loads. Anybody install the languages in the administration languages? Anybody installed any other language apart from English?
No, sir.
Okay. So try to
No, sir.
enable these languages. It will take a lot of time. It will take more than 2 hours. So what you will do, you will just select the languages. So I have enabled a German. It's enabled. I have enabled the French. Okay. So same way you can enable different languages. You can select if you want Spanish, Turkish, select, click on apply. So in the background it will be enabling, but if it wants to completely enable, then it will take at least 1 to 2 hours. You just click on apply and you can uh, take your own work. It will be happening in the background. So once you enable the language, then I will start the translation. How the translation we will apply and how that will work in the real time, that I will showcase. Meanwhile, we'll check XRM toolbox also. Here, data was REST API builder. Error during connection could not load file assembly. Here also it is not working. This tool will help in real time a lot because we don't have to write all the required code. We'll just configure the primary entity. What is the primary entity that we want to retrieve? Is a system user. Okay, system user. The request will be retrieve single record, and in that entity, system user entity, what fields we need to get? We need to get only the business unit of the user. And once we select all this, we will click on the create request button. So it will give us the code. We simply copy that code. We will write in our function. Okay, and then the value we will set it in our contact script. Oh, it's still loading. So let me try to open in incognito mode. Username, password. Solution. Click on REST API Builder. Taking more time. Maybe because of the version issue. So let us try to download REST API Builder. Can anybody try to install the solution?
Okay, sir.
First you need to download it from the drive, then you need to install the solution. It is taking time.
Sir, I have imported the solution.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. Sir, please allow me to share the screen.
Yeah.
No, sir, still I'm not getting access.
Let me give again. Try now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sir. CRM Rest Builder.
Okay. Refresh. Can you click on? Yeah. For you also it is taking time.
Yes, sir.
So we have this extension as well. Just search for data hours REST builder extension for Chrome. We can add this extension. Similarly, like a level up, we can add this extension. Let us try this way. Okay, so I'll go to solution, open the extension, Dataverse extension, environment URL. This is the environment URL. Okay. Next. Okay. New collection, new request type, retrieve single. Here we are using xrm.web API. Uh, configure. Okay, in the configure, what is the table that we want to fetch? System user. Okay, from user entity, what we need to get? We need to get the column business unit. Okay, so what we need to select the columns? We need to select user ID. We need to select business unit. If you scroll down, you will see the business unit. Okay, so two items selected. Just give the primary ID as any dummy value. We need to replace it. Then we need to use this xrm.web API code. You see, all this code is created based on the configuration that we made. What we need to do, we need to simply paste it here. Okay, here we are not using this xrm dot this 123 dummy value. What value we need to pass? We need to pass this owner ID, and then it will get this value: system user ID, business unit ID. It's a lookup. So here what we need to do, we'll just use the form context dot get attribute. In get attribute, what we need to set in which field, use this business unit logical name CSP business unit dot set value. What value we need to set? This is a lookup value, this business unit. Now let's try to publish this code. Simply this will give the request that we need to configure. Once it published, then we will register this function, set business unit function, on form load, contact for interactive experience. Form properties, on load, this is the script, this is the function, class execution. Save, publish. Let's publish. Let's check now. Control F5. So owner ID dot replace is not function. So the spelling is incorrect here. Replace. Again, I need to publish the code. Control A, Control V, Control S will save, Control U will publish. So while working in JavaScript, if you use G as a capital, F is a small letter, then it will not work. It's a case sensitive. You need to use however it is. Let's refresh again and check. Control F5. It's not set. Why? Owner ID. We have owner. This is the owner ID. Okay, now can you anybody tell me the reason why it is not working? The reason is we are setting in a lookup. So lookup will have three parameters: name, ID, entity type. So we need to pass this. Okay, how we can pass? You can just check it here. Set lookup value. So lookup value, we will initialize an array. Otherwise, it will be a object, entity, ID, record name. Okay. So ID, record name, entity. So we are getting this, right? We are getting ID, we are getting entity name, we are getting ID, we are getting here, record name we are getting here. So set value, here we can pass three parameters. Instead of that, what we can do, we can also initialize an array. So I think we will stop it here. There are no errors so far. We just needs to configure these three parameters in one object. How we will do? Either we can set value by passing the comma, record ID, record name, and then the entity name. Otherwise, we will create an object. We will pass these three parameters to that object, and we will set the object. Okay. As of now, I'm going to